Hello everyone, this is Sarah Lawrence at Mum on a Spiritual Journey, and this month I'm going to show you how using Caroline Myss's beautiful archetype cards can help you channel information through your spirit guides. So I wasn't, to be honest, really sure what I was going to talk about in this month's podcast, so I asked my spirit guides for some help. And they immediately directed me to Caroline Myss's beautiful archetype deck and told me to select 6 cards, which I did. And so this is the information that came through this month from my guides and from Caroline Myss's cards. So this is all about the journey to becoming a mentor. So what I discovered on pulling the 6 cards that I was given is that becoming a mentor is a cycle. So you begin as a student, where you're learning from a teacher who magically appears. Once you've learnt some information, you begin your magical journey on the path of change and transformation. Through this journey, you begin the ascent up the great mountain of effort and growth that it might take to work through your journey. You learn to love yourself. You become a parent literally, or to an idea, concept, or creation of some kind. You then become a scribe, where you're able to crystallize this knowledge and write it down. You finally become a soul poet, where more spontaneous spiritual happenings occur. And then the cycle begins again of being a mentor. Now, in this 6-step archetype cycle, the cards that were chosen are the mentor card, surprisingly, the hero-heroine card, beginning the journey, the lover, the mother card, the scribe, and the poet. So we're going to look at the first card now, the mentor card, and the channeled information that came through about it is a mentor is a student in disguise. Wisdom is received and embodied, and the student learns and applies the knowledge. Ultimately, the eternal student is born. So we all know that saying, when we have the need or the requirement, the teacher appears. And so I've had the benefit of many different and unusual teachers on my journey so far. But when we work with a teacher, it's very important to let them take us under their wing, just like the card shows us, so that it becomes a synchronistic and copacetic kind of relationship where there's a receiving and an exchange of information for both people to grow in the relationship. As the eternal student, you now move on to the ascent. You take away the information that you've received. You begin to move onwards and upwards to achieve a goal, maybe a new life stage, or even create something. And anything you learn or embody, in order to take it further, there needs to be some kind of personal growth. And that can sometimes involve Joseph Campbell's magical journey, where you go on the journey, you leave, you can come back, but the mountain is never the same mountain when you come back, and the river is never the same river. And on the way, you may experience personal acts of heroism or meet with other people who show you the same. And of course, remember, on any journey like this, any spiritual journey, you may also come across the monsters. So on this journey, the next card that comes up is the lover card. So in Caroline Myss's deck, the light attributes of this card are passion and devotion, unbridled appreciation of someone or something. We've all experienced that, or maybe many of us have. But sometimes love can turn into obsession or be self-destructive, and perhaps many of us have experienced that too. But on the cycle of the student becoming the mentor, the journey of loving another is really about discovering self-love. And as we learn to love ourselves, we have to naturally go through the experience of having both an open heart and a closed heart in order to know the difference. And then understanding that we're all one, essentially, in the universe, we're all entangled. So loving others is always a lesson about the self. The next card that comes up is the Mother card. So I remember after my very first Cryon conference and experience of channeling, I had my oldest was very small at the time, just a toddler. And I remember going home and thinking how in that particular channeling, Lee Carroll, who channels Cryon, had used the word responsibility over and over again. And I realized at that moment the depth of responsibility of taking on a very small infant and helping to grow them to adulthood. So the urge to grow something new, whether it's becoming a parent or creating a project or idea or movement or even writing a book, is once we've learned to open our hearts, we need to expand our sense of love in order to create something new. And there also needs to be an understanding that karmically we are always tied to what we create on this planet. That's part of the responsibility. And then the irony of that is at some point, whatever it is we've created needs to be let go, whether that's a child that grows into an adult and flies off into the universe on their own journey, or whether it's something that we've finished with, and in order to create something new, we need to leave it behind. The next card that comes up in the student to mentor journey is the Scribe card. So the Scribe card is about preserving knowledge and information. And recently I had some interesting information about preserving knowledge and information, but just stewarding it. So we don't own any knowledge and information. We take it on. We may reprocess it and find a way to retransmit it that's more helpful for a particular person or group of people, but it really doesn't belong to us. It belongs to everyone as a whole. So any knowledge, experience and resources, once we've done the great ascent, we've learned to love ourselves and we've created something new, from those experiences, our knowledge and experiences and resources become crystallized into something we can transmit to others. So this is when we start to put together our own body of work in our mind through actions we take or even written down. And that's when we start to be able to transmit this knowledge in useful ways and share it with others. So the next card, the final card in this cycle, almost the final card as you'll see, is the Poet card. And so the light attribute of the Poet card is that we express soul insights in symbolic language. So what's interesting about the spiritual journey is when we've reached a certain point in our evolution and we've had the desert period, we've had the dark night of the soul, we've worked through many things in our life, our soul becomes able to spontaneously express our crystallized knowledge, wisdom and experiences. So the poet is born. Maybe we even start involuntarily mentoring other people. And then we realize that we've been on this cycle all along. So the truth of the matter is the cycle of being a mentor and or a student has no beginning and no end. If we can keep the student mind, it means that we'll all have the opportunity to become a mentor over and over again. The way I like to put it is, in life, we're all on the same bus, but we ride the bus in different seats. So we all have these different perspectives we can offer to everyone else on the same journey. So there we go. We went through all 6 cards, the Mentor card, the Hero-Heroine card, the Lover card, the Mother card, the Scribe and the Poet card. Finally realizing that the mentor cycle, it really is cyclical. It has no beginning and no end. Well, I hope you enjoyed this month's broadcast and podcast. You can catch me at mom, M-O-M, on aspiritualjourney.com. My email is Sarah, S-A-R-A-H, at momonaspiritualjourney.com. I'm Sarah Lawrence, your intuitive empowerment coach. Feel free to connect with me, see what readings I have available, what coaching sessions I have available, and how I can help you in the world of the Akashic records, card reading, and learning about your human design. Lots of light to everybody. I hope you have a happy May 2023.